Hey guys, and welcome back to the last episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! Evolution, and today we're going to be covering over from 2017 September all the way to current day of Yu-Gi-Oh! Now, for the first deck that was last left off was True Draco, but this next deck is Astrograph Pendulums. With Astrograph Pendulums, it utilize cards like Astrograph Sorcerer, Chronograph Sorcerer, Wisdom Eye Magician, Tuning Magician, and all the others. Your main goal was to end on a very reliable board of negates and interruptions for your opponent. Now, one of the best cards in this deck was Astrograph Sorcerer and Skullcrobat Joker. Astrograph Sorcerer, when a pendulum monster is destroyed, or if a card you control is destroyed, you can special it from your hand. Then choose one monster in your graveyard, extra deck, or that is banished that was destroyed this turn, and you add another copy of that card. So Astrograph went hand in hand with Wisdom Eye Magician and Luster Pendulum. Luster Pendulum replacing the scale, and Astrograph Sorcerer getting an extra monster. Wisdom Eye destroying itself also provided help for Astrograph to function more along with Chronograph. This is a rough sketch of a build that you can run, but Time Gazer Magician is the star of the show, protecting your pendulum monsters. Utility cards like Pendulum Call help search out for your combo pieces, and Star Pendulum Graph, and with its buddy Time Pendulum Graph, you can do so much more via interruptions and searching. You run cards like Dynamite Knight, Ignister, and Majesty Maiden to help speed up combos, and you also have your own Time Star Magician, which allows you to search out your own monsters, a Dark Spellcaster, from your deck, graveyard, or face up from your extra deck to your hand. And it protects your pendulum monsters from being destroyed. You send one Spellcaster monster from your deck instead. So this card goes hand in hand with Time Pendulum Graph, so you can do a lot of interesting combos. Black Fang allows you to special one from grave. Double Iris searches out your pendulum graphs. Purple Poison destroys a monster. And the one White Fang allows you to just negate an effect on the field. And Harmonizing helps you go into the rank 4 and rank 4, Link 2, and the lovely Dino-Nister. But after September, we hit November 2017. Doesn't this seem very familiar? Well, this is near full power for Spiral. This deck used to end on a Trigate Negate and a Resort with Sleeper and Last Resort. Sounds very familiar of what it is now. But this deck also had the inclusion of both Nightmare Goblin and Firewall Dragon, plus a little Destrudo engine to go into your sneaky little Ancient Fairy Dragon, so you can get another resort search. This card also utilized Rescue and Utility Wire just like today, but it also ran a small Solemn Brigade, having things like Big Red as discard fodder, and also you have other things that you can utilize, like Hand Traps being DD Crow. Lureless Recite Starling helps you search out that DD Crow, and Sylvan Princess Sprite helps you get a spell trap card to your hand. If it's a monster, it goes to grave. Spiral Gear Drones helps recover your agents, being Super Agent, Tough, and Double Helix. This deck was a pinnacle of Tier 0 when it was at full power with 3 Quick Fix and 3 Drone. Luckily, they caught that in time to hit the deck, and the deck still ran forward as a Trigate Negate combo. Also, you could U-Link it if you ran such things like Nightmare Mermaid at the time. But this deck definitely ceased to amaze me how long it has stayed alive ever since the fatal limiting of Resort, Quick Fix, and Drone. Resort took an extra 2 lists to get hit, but the deck still functions quite well, yet it's still a little bricky and clunky. After that, we have my build for Goki U-Link. This deck utilized cards like Link Kuriboh, Curious, the Lightsworn Dominion, MX Saber Invoker, and the Brilliant Engine. Goki's being a deck where they replace themselves constantly with Lee Scorpio, Super X, Twist Cobra, Headmat, and Ostretch. These cards constantly gave Firewall fuel and a little sneaky tech of Black Dragon to search out things like Doki Doki and Gigantus. Gigantus is a heavy storm, while Doki Doki summons out another monster, so it's an extra extender. You have things like World Legacy Suppression, Succession, and Monster Reborn. And you also have that in-archetype double Monster Reborn of Goki rematch. You ran the Predaplant engine, being 3 Lone Fire, 3 Scorpio, and 2 Cobra, with your fusion targets being Brilliant Fusion and Refusion to summon out things like Geminite Zirconia and Geminite Seraphonite. This deck also utilized the Nightmare monsters, so you can U-Link better and end on a Fossil Dana. Using the lovely Perform Mage engine, 1 Trick Clown, 1 Damage Juggler at the time, and 3 Hat Tricker, it was free extension cities for anyone. Another thing you can do is combine your Gigantes and Glow Up Bulb to summon out that Nat Beast, and the Predaplant engine was a free MX Saver Invoker. This is why Invoker can never return, because we have so many ways of making rank 3s. This deck usually ended on a Trigate Negate with Fossil Dana and a Nat Beast, so if you ever see this deck again, be scared, as you may need that Nibiru earlier than you needed it. Next, we're going on to May 2008, right 3 days after that ban list, Sky Strikers dropped. This is the full power Sky Striker build up until the next list, where you had access to Kagari, Suzuku, and Hayate. Sky Striker is a deck that you can utilize as many hand traps as it needs as you run efficiency cards like Foolish Bale of Goods, Terraforming, and, well, you also have 3 Hornet Drone, 3 Engage, 3 Widow Anchor, 3 Multi-Roll. So the whole entire deck is there. With the Sky Striker deck, you normally want to get Ray out as fast as possible or use your Sky Striker Hornet Drones. So you can go up into your Link monsters and end phase do a lot of cool stuff. Kagari being your main cards to recycle back your cards, Suzuku to add a different name that's not in a graveyard, and Hayate is to attack directly and sending a Sky Striker spell to the grave. Other cards that were pretty popular in this deck were the Foolish Burial of Goods Metal Fusion combo, allowing you to get 2 free spell cards in the graveyard, and also getting a draw 1 afterwards. In this deck, you can run many hand traps, so I decided to run 3 Ash, 2 Ogre, and 3 Perm at the time. These were the most prominent hand traps of, well, May, and, well, this deck was pretty good because you can go into things like Nightmare Phoenix, Nightmare Unicorn, both of the Topologics, Boral Sword for game, and Ningrisu to deal with troublesome cards. And with this deck, it's just all around, have fun, don't get mad. Now we're on to September 2018. Soul Fusion just came out, and it brought us Thunder Dragon. Thunder Dragon is a deck that utilized dangers, and, well, this was before Soul Charge was banned, so have fun, good luck. This deck utilized things like Gold Sarcophagus and Allure of Darkness. Plus, you can also run things like Yugioh and some Summoner. Running Gold Sark is a free combo starter by banishing your Dark or your Roar. Roar summoning Dark, then Dark searches out Hawk. You get so much advantage off of one card, that's why it was limited. Another card is a great starter with Batarang Solar, sending a lovely Thunder Dragon to grave, waiting for its banish, or you returning it back to the hand or summoning it to the field with Hawk. One of the things that this deck definitely utilized most was the Triple Colossus being a Floodgate on legs and a Titan being a Interrupter. Thunder Dragon Duo is just BLS, but you get to return a banished card back to your deck, which is pretty nice, and utilizing the dangers made it where, well, you can make Saryuja faster and easier. Thunder Dragon Matrix is a free hand trap that works well with Titan, and you also ran the Ash Blossom and Call by the Grave. This deck was definitely a pinnacle of the format, where it shaped up to fight against Striker, but sadly, the deck is no more. Well, both decks are, because our lovely Engage and Colossus got banned. Well, after that, we have Trickstar Sky Striker, a different variant. This is when Hornet Drones was at 1, and well, I don't really need to explain the extra deck since it's the exact same extra deck. This deck utilized the Trickstar engine of 1 Corobane, 3 Candina, 3 Lyricrus, 1 Lilybell, 3 Light Stage, and the 3 Reincarnation. This deck was definitely something to be worked around, as it functioned as well as it could, with many normal summons that you could do, being your Candina or Ray, but most likely you're summoning out Ray with Area 0. Multi-roll sends Area 0, summoning out the Ray, and you can have a lot of fun. This deck is definitely a pinnacle of the turn of the format, as we're heading into a new type of deck around the horizon that has been hiding in the shadows for a while. This is January 2019 with Salamangreat Great, the box structure deck, $30. Now this is a list that I ran way back when Salad was at full power. It utilized things like the Lady Debug, Fantastical Dragon Phantasmate, Infinite Impermanence, and, well, you know it, Ash Blossom, as Sunlight Wolf can recycle those cards. You also ran the 3 Circle, the 3 Gazelle, the 3 Foxy, and 2 Mirage Stalio just in case if it gets banished by Call by the Grave. This deck is a long grind match as well. It takes forever just to beat it or you get beat. I remember playing this deck and I'm like, oh, this deck is cool, but then after a while it got boring since it's the same cookie cutter combos that you all know and love. With the 3 Rage and 2 Roar, you could definitely do a lot by using your Link monsters being Phalanx, Sunlight Wolf, and Heatleo. At the time, Sunlight Wolf was a pretty great card as well as Phalanx, as it made it where you go from, oh, I have a Sunlight Wolf set to pass, and maybe something in graveyard, and now it's just, you cut out Mirage Stalio, the deck still works the same, which is pretty nice. With this deck, it definitely utilized a lot of the search ability and recover ability that it had, so if you ever see Salamangreat now, be very careful on how you play against it since the deck has definitely changed. Now we're going on to my favorite deck for the past almost year, and we have the April format with Danger Orcust. Danger Orcust utilized a lot of the dark engines like the PK rank up match, actually the Phantom Knight, soon to be the PK rank up build, Allure of Darkness, and, well, Rusty Bardiche. Rusty Bardiche helped the deck perform very well, ending on 2 of your Fog Blades and a Crescendo with a Dingirisu in graveyard and a Galatea on field, along with a Symbol Skeleton. With the addition of Dingirisu and Orcust Crescendo, the deck went into tier 1 to 0.5 status, using things like the Neospace Connector, summoning out Dolphin, and pitching and plucking a card out of your opponent's hand at the cost of discarding one from yours. You can instantly start off combos with your Orcust monsters. Now, one of the key features about this deck is the utility of the cards that they use. Orchestrated Babble is a one-of, so it wasn't really a problem then, but now it is. Allure of Darkness and Orchestrated Return are free in archetype draw cards, and you have the Dangers once again returning. The Dangers help you extend into things like Yugioh and also into things like Nightmare Mermaid. Now with this deck, we had Nightmare Orcust, Nightmare. So you can summon out your Mermaid by using 2 monsters to discard another card to summon it out, and it's a free Galatea. Nightmare Mermaid is definitely a card that needed to go, but as early on as this deck was, it wasn't really a problem. Now, with this deck, it had so much recovery with Galatea, Longrisu, and Dingirisu that orchestration was not needed. And it's still not needed because the card is harder to make. With this deck, you only ran 1 World Wand because it was more of a brick than now. As if you run 2, you can summon it off of the other one, but you have to be very careful when to summon it. Now with this deck, it gave me a lot of joy throughout the years, and let's see where this year takes it. Because next we have the Endymion Magician build. This deck is a revitalized version of the Pendulum Magician deck, but adding the new Endymion structure deck, which is definitely interesting to say the least. It utilized cards like Supreme King Dragon Darkworm and Gate Zero, the 1 copy of Jackal King, along with the 3 Servant of Endymion and 1 Mighty Master. This deck also ran Pot of Desires, Allure of Darkness, Spellpower Mastery, and Dragon Shrine to combo out your Darkworm. While running Darkworm, you can also run things like the Guard Dragon engine being LP Pisty and Agarpain. This deck was a nightmare to face against, as it ends on a Compulse type monster, a monster negate with multiple spell counters, and a spell trap card negate, along with Odd Eyes Vortex. We've seen Odd Eyes Vortex before, but well, this deck was a pinnacle of craziness and big brain plays, as you had so much to do in one turn, and luckily Nibiru wasn't out at this point. But the next deck definitely has that aspect, and we're back to True Draco. The last one was Masterpiece Turbo. This one is, well, Inspector Border. With True Draco, their playstyle didn't change much, but they added things like Crackdown and Monarch's Erupt, being another skill drain, and also they had access to There Can Be Only One, where it locks out your opponent from playing, but you could still play quite well if you tribute it off. Inspector Border is a great card against meta, as it stuns out the opponent for using effects. It also had the variety of draw cards being Pot of Desires, Card Demise, and Pot of Duality. The 1 terraforming into 3 diagrams made it where you had 4 copies essentially, but this deck is definitely a force to be reckoned with, and luckily they took care of the problem when they did. Now finally, we're ending this format with the lovely Spiral 2020. This is a current deck list of Spirals, and it still does the exact same thing as the old deck did. I would say. And with this deck, I would say it's definitely a peak performer for this meta, but hopefully in April, this changes where I can add a new deck. Hopefully it's Adamantia, but hopefully it's something brand new and wonderful, as this deck still functions the exact same with the addition of Magician Souls, also with Where Art Thou. This meta right now is prominently ran by Drone Lockbird and DD Crow, with a couple sprinkles of anything else. With how the deck works, if you get Droll and Lockbird, you lose. But this has been the evolution of Yu-Gi-Oh! As of February 2020. So if you guys did enjoy this series, hit that like button down below, and if you want to see more, please subscribe for future content, as I upload every day at 3 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to see more content, hit that like button, and also follow me down on Twitter where I tweet nonsense. But anyways, I've been Bolt Spider. See you guys in the next video, and goodbye.